I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
I feel the need for speed. Ow! So together we're the Three Amigos.
Right here. Stop.
Batman, what happened? Are you okay?
He's slimy. It's getting hot in here. Is it just me?
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Hey, dudes. How's it going? Excellent times. We are ready to review the sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures here on After the Weekend, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Wild Stallions, that is correct. I have my friend here, Beard of Liberty. I am JT Gunn, and we are a little excited and a little weirded out by this movie, so we're both those, and we're ready to review it here soon. First of all, Beard, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Juggling a couple of different things. Trying to get together tonight. Ever since I started streaming games, suddenly
Yeah, you're addicted.
I have to like make sure I'm scheduling things properly, so I'm not like I don't want to be having to like dip out of a scheduled stream like with somebody else just so I can go play a game. I don't want to be that guy.
Okay, I mean, if you wanted to do that instead of this, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna definitely get into that review here soon, and hopefully everyone else is well here. And thank you coming in and watching. And before just make sure you hit this like button, and if you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you want to hear more about old reviews from the 90s, the 80s, and sometimes the 2000s. Last month we did
the movies we remember fondly, but sometimes are then reminded that we were stupid kids back then.
My brain is kind of muddled at the moment because of this movie. So, but we'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. Yeah, so we go live every Monday, usually, and then Saturday, on every other Saturdays, we have something fun. We get over there on Weekend Harder podcast where we just have a good time and do some different things other than movie reviews. So definitely check us out. Looks like our other partner in crime is in the chat. He's not feeling well tonight. He's telling us to have a good stream. Station. We'll get into what that means. Yeah, that also creeped me out. But yes, we are reviewing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. This is when they go to hell. That's pretty much what happens.
Yes.
Now,
not included in my facts because it's a really short one. Apparently, the original title was Bill and Ted Go to Hell, but they spend so little time in hell. A couple different people, I think. What's the guy? Alex Winter was one of them. Was basically saying that'd be like calling the first movie Bill and Ted Go to Circle K, because they just don't spend a lot of time in hell. It's not the main part of the movie.
They really don't. Now, this is a sequel to, like I said before, to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. We reviewed that movie here on After the Weekend a year ago or so. I can't quite remember, but we did review it. We had a fun time with reviewing that one because that was a fun movie. So it made sense that this movie might have gotten a sequel, and it came out in 1989. So, do you remember the first one?
I definitely, growing up, saw this one more in TV reruns, but I remember enough about the first one that I know that I like the first one better than this one.
So the first one is basically they're in high school. They have to pass their history test to, pretty much get through high school. There's a big exam. They have to like do like a big old presentation. I don't know what school they went to because I never had to do any of this. Big presentation for their history class, and then they find out that if they don't pass this test, then like the future is literally um
Yes, they find out that the future all hinges around them
their
and their
presentation,
yeah,
which
their
is so
music.
funny. Yeah, their music because they are
Yeah.
wannabe rockers. They're not very that great, and yet they are at San Dimas High, and so they meet with Rufus. Rufus is this guy from the future that it pretty much idolizes them, Bill and Ted.
Everybody from the future does.
Yeah,
For the
and
most part.
they have statues and stuff. So then he has to go back in time to make sure that they successfully pass their history lesson. They go through history, they get all kinds of characters. They come back, they successfully pass their presentation. And then now we're 2 years later into this Bogus Ted. They're now out of high school and they are in
The
an
roommates at a rundown, just disaster of an apartment.
yeah, and they are hanging out with the babes, and they got the babes from the first movie. They were originally from like the Dark Ages,
Like the 1500s, I think.
and they brought them in. That would be weird, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I bet you people in the Middle Ages like, what happened to those girls? They got vanished. Well,
They
anyways,
must not have been important to history. 'Cause
they
no-
were
nothing
like
changed.
princesses. They were like princesses. Like, did someone just maybe the history books they just died or something, just got murdered or something. But they are now living with these girls, and they're they like them. They like hanging out, but they didn't really give them what they promised. They promised like a really good life because they thought they were going to be famous really quick, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think they even proposed to them in here, sort of.
Yeah, they want to win the Battle of the Bands. It's coming up. It's a whopping what, like $25,000 and a 2-year record deal for some like dinky local Battle of Bands contest.
Yeah.
That's not a bad deal, I guess. But they wanted to get that, so they can I give the girls what they promised. And yes, they do propose in the most awkward way possible, basically having written the same speech, just like 15 feet away from each other. And they get a little plastic ring like that you would get out of those like machines at the like grocery store.
They're very, very Californian from the 90s. They are very Keanu Reeves like really pulls this off really well. He's always really good at doing Ted.
It is very of its time and very exactly what they wanted to make, but that doesn't mean that it's not kind of annoying watching it today.
Yeah,
some of
like
the mannerisms and words like that, I'm just like, oh, I can't take this.
yeah, but he was so good at it, and it's
He
almost
was.
kind of funny that and you could see that in some of his other later movies too. That I think he was actually kind of a beach bum at heart. So yeah, they basically are they're kind of slobs, or they're not really what they should have been, and they're just kind of hanging out. And then it's Ted's dad that's a cop, and he's the one. He's like, dude, like, what are you guys doing? Like, you had 2 years, you haven't done anything, and he's like threatening him again, send him to middle school, or not a military school. So they also get flustered about that too.
Friend that's like, we got room for you, both of you,
and his
all
dad,
4 of you.
His dad hooks up with Bill's mom.
Yeah.
So his mom divorced his dad, Bill's dad, and then he hooked up with Ted's dad. So now they're like stepbrothers. Sorry,
yes.
I have like a bug in my office. So now they're stepbrothers, and then they actually do make a funny joke, like who what like something that came up to where like he's like, who's gonna marry her next, and someone says Ted will, and then and they're like, oh, then you'll be like your grandpa or some step grandpa or something stupid like that.
Aaron's correcting us. It was his stepmom that then ended up marrying And this is also come from somebody who said he had to mute this so that he could get some work done. We appreciate you not following through with it and listening in, buddy.
Yeah, Missy is her name. Yeah, but yes, I think he does say you're gonna be your own like stepdad, or and they're like, oh
That's
yeah,
weird.
that'd be funny. Yeah, so they're still the wild characters, right? That laugh at everything, and they're very they don't take a lot of stuff seriously, right?
Yeah.
So now in the beginning of this movie, they do go in the future and they show the future of Bill and Ted's what they kind of made up,
Yeah.
or what
They've got a whole
happened.
university dedicated to them.
Yeah, and they're not even alive. And they're wearing like weird clothes with backwards hat and big old shoes. And
Yeah, all the clothes are like bright neon, and
right.
that's a choice. That's
And a lot of the people are like
choice.
almost tripping with those big old shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very awkward future. But the guy down there in the bottom left, he plays D Nomalus, I think is how he pronounced. He's like the villain that only shows up like a few times in this movie. He basically wants to he doesn't like Bill and Ted. And he wants to basically take over this utopia and do his own thing and just kind of
his name being weird that as it is Ed Solomon backwards, and that was one of the guys who wrote this.
Did not know that. So his idea is to send these robotic to Bill and Ted duplicates, and he sends them into the past to murder.
Which there's a lot in this film that does not hold up special effects wise. The masks that they made that you see in the top left there, where actually the top left and right, where they take the face of Alex Winters and Keanu Reeves and make a really detailed face mask so they can stretch it over their head and like pull the robotic head through the mouth. That actually still looks really good.
Yeah.
It's weird because there's a lot in here that doesn't.
Yeah, so they kind of stole something from Terminator, right? They send robots in the future to take out Bill and Ted, so that way this future doesn't happen, right? Which doesn't make any sense, because if Bill and Ted weren't around, maybe the bad guy wouldn't be around either. But hey, who knows? We're not going to get into
that. I don't know. We can get into it because the bad guy sets up something at the end which actually causes the entire world to see their performance. So he basically causes the future he hates to happen.
Oh.
So there's a little bit of, you can get into the weeds in time travel in here. There's a certain amount of determinism that's already in here that these people think they have free will, but they don't really. But anyway, we don't need to go down that route. That's a big topic.
Yeah,
Oh, that feels good.
We'll figure it out. All right. So, but they do go back in time, and then they trick them, and then because in the first one, Bill and Ted, they basically they've seen themselves before, right? Because in the first one, they see their like future self come to them. They're like, hey, look, you have to do this. You have to get the phone book. So they're used to seeing their like future self. So the robots kind of trick them, like, hey, yeah, we're from the future. You have to do this for us. And they're like, okay, cool. But Ted has a weird feeling about them, and they end up getting.
They get tossed from a cliff.
They get tossed from a cliff, yes, and then they basically go to, like we said, hell.
Or that's after they've like.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on.
They first meet death, and then.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him in I thought I saw him here. Here's so they meet down near the bottom. He's the Grim Reaper, and he's like, hey, like they're like, hey, how can this was a mistake? How do we get back? And he basically says, look, you have to play a game, and then maybe I'll let you go. And he's like, no one's ever beat me. So they're like, okay. And then would they give him a Melvin? Were they like,
yeah. And then they run off.
They give him a Melvin, yeah.
And I've still got other facts that didn't make it to my list, so I'm sprinkling them in as we go.
It's okay.
The color correction on them, those two there, is done practically with makeup and alterations to the clothes, the dye in the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to actually filming it with black and white film because they wanted other color to be in the same shots. It's actually done pretty well.
Yeah, the whole like they're like a ghost scene or scenes was pretty good because yeah, they are kind of everything's kind of muted, right? But yeah, they meet death, they run away from him. So they're like, "Oh, maybe we'll go tell someone that we're dead." And they take over their dad's body, and that was a funny scene actually.
There's some special
The
effects
scene
in there
right
that
here.
definitely don't hold up, but yes, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the scene up in the top right there, that was pretty funny. That when they're like those actors are playing Bill and Ted, and I thought that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, because they needed to like relay a message, and what does he say? Like it worked in Exorcist like 1 and 3 or something like that.
Yeah, and he was like, he doesn't sound like his dad. He sounds like him. So everybody's like, "What is wrong? Are you on drugs or something?" Yeah. And there's Rufus down there. He gets kind of captured as well, and we'll get into the weird animals here in the stallions or
Stations.
the stations.
Well, station singular.
Yeah, we'll
weird.
get into them later, but yeah, they fail at attempting that, so then they actually get sent to hell, and then I don't remember how they get back.
Well, they get sent to hell specifically because they go and haunt a seance that is having, and she ends up like pulling out a book and banishes them to hell. So that's how they end up there.
And they're down here, so they see like the Satan, they see like a scary bunny rabbit. Like apparently Bill was afraid of his grandma.
They have all these different rooms that they can basically choose their infinite hell, and it's all different types of like maybe bad memories, or things like that, nightmare creatures.
The kid version of Bill and Ted was funny. I thought that was pretty good. I thought maybe they could have done like a kid show with that.
Yeah,
they actually did a TV show of Bill and Ted. It was a cartoon.
Yes.
But yeah, so how do they get back again? How do they get back to the real world?
They basically say our only way out is to call on death.
That's right. So they call on death.
He just like pops up immediately, and then they decide to play him because they have to take this, even if it's a tiny chance to get out, they have to take it.
Yeah, and they do play games with him. I mean, I'm talking Battleship. They play, and they're always beating him.
He keeps moving the goalposts. He's like, no, you have to play me again.
2 out of 3.
What are you talking about? 2 out of 3. It's like
best out of 5.
Best out of 5.
7.
They beat him
11.
again. It's like, let me guess. Best out of 7. Yes.
And they keep beating. They keep winning, and he's like, no one's ever won before. These little segment here where they're playing the games, I think is probably one of the best scenes. This is what I always remembered was this scene.
I think so, especially when they get down to that little electronic football game that was basically complete chance. So there's no skill involved whatsoever. So the devil or the Grim Reaper has thrown out all of the skills games, and he's just like down to a game of chance because he's got to take whatever he can because he keeps losing these 2 weirdos.
And I don't know if you remember the first one. There was the character who it was Napoleon, and they were always teasing him, or he kind of got escaped, and he was on his own doing his own thing. It was always fun to see Napoleon scenes, and I think the Grim Reaper was like this movie's Napoleon, where it was like, oh, that he's just so annoyed with them, but he has to like be there.
Yeah, William Sadler playing the Reaper, he does such a good job.
He did, and then they go talk to God and everything too, so they can go back. That's just
and so
they
basically have been beaten. They've been beaten death so many times. Like he's their servant now. Like it's not even just like I'll send you back. It's like I have to take care of you and do whatever you want. So he takes them up to heaven, and they beat up some people to get inside because they're not good enough. So they basically lie to get into heaven. And then get to God and like, hey, we just need like some scientists or somebody smart that can help us build good robots to beat these evil robots because we just want to save our girlfriends.
Yeah. It was so funny. It was so funny because like then they get back into the town and they go on to their event, continuing their adventures. So before we continue on though, we are going to do the numbers like we always do. So we'll get into that. So this is where we basically guess to see. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is. So we guess the numbers, box office numbers, and we go from there.
11, 92, 12.
So I don't think this movie had a very high budget, and I don't think it made a lot of money.
I think it probably did good right off the bat based on like the reputation of the previous film, but I think it dropped. I think it probably dropped off pretty quick. I don't think it had legs to keep
So
their numbers up.
yeah, I don't. And one thing to mention, we'll get into the theaters here later, but there was a very good movie of Keanu's that came out around the same time. So I don't know if it was like the same time of the movie. Sorry, there's like a mosquito.
You know, I enjoy it, like trying to take it out, and you can explain all you want, but we all know that R2 is going to clip you out of context, like waving it in the middle of nothing.
No, I'm doing magical stuff. Yeah, maybe this is a John Wick prequel. All right, so here's the box office. Here we go. Ready? You in the chat can guess too if you want. This is also where you can guess in the comments below. So, Beard, you haven't given me your number yet.
I mean, I would have to guess something pretty low.
I'm going to say like 10 and 10 million. No, 15 million, and it made 10.
Okay, I was thinking 15 million for the budget, but I'm thinking it probably. I think it did at least 25, maybe 30 million in the box office. And like I said, I think that's all probably in the first couple of weeks, just based on the popularity of the first movie. Because I don't think this was as good as the first one, and I think it probably fell off pretty quickly.
No, it was. I don't think it was as good as the first one either. But just one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. Oh, so it was 20 million was the budget and 38 million. So it actually made a little bit of money.
Okay. I mean, I don't imagine they did as much marketing, like this huge a marketing campaign as what we see today. Like modern movies, you're looking at probably, 2 times return just to break even. But back then, I don't know. I guess they probably considered that at least a little bit of extra money coming in. They probably didn't spend that much on marketing.
It doesn't.
And am I alone now? Uh-oh. Is that me or is that you? Which one of us dropped? Oh, fair amount of marketing for its time. All right, I think I'm here by myself now. Ms. R2 says, I thought 10 budget, 20 box. I was way off. Okay.
What happened?
There are 2 JTs. There are 2 caps.
What?
Don't ask me.
What happened?
You just disappeared.
I clicked on a tab over here and everything like got all weird. This is mosquitoes.
You've got a bug in the system, but sis.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. All right.
So
are we back?
I think we're back. I mean,
okay.
we kind of skipped over. We didn't really explain the creatures station.
Yeah, we were going to get into that, but
Okay.
the budget. Okay, so I was pretty close. We were both kind of close, so that's cool. Because the cartoon came out around this time, I think they thought it would be a bigger hit.
And I actually that brings up an interesting, or something I thought while watching this is, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie, like its script, was pitched as a cartoon, because it's
so cartoony.
Basically is a cartoon, and I think actually would have been better received had it been animated and not live action.
It was kind of cartoony, especially with the clothes.
Yeah,
in
a
the
lot of
future.
it just was like really over the top. But
Yeah,
anyway.
and what was the other thing? Oh, they, like I said, Keanu was just kind of becoming popular, so maybe that had to do something with it too.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. Yeah, the station. Those are little two animals. Apparently, they're like the smartest beings in the universe.
I think technically it's the smartest singular being that splits itself into two twin beings at one time.
Well, the
That's
fact that
why
they're
it's-
in heaven, they're dead,
Yes.
and
But
they're
yeah,
hanging
like
out with like Einstein.
Martian or something, and that's like what you'd think the smartest beings in the universe would come from Earth. Huh, right.
Yeah, loser. But they're like hanging out with Einstein.
Yeah, they're playing charades.
Yes, they are.
Apparently station was an in joke because there was something misspelled in one of the script drafts, and it just became a thing that they said on set, and then
Station.
decided to use this as the name for this.
What would have
this creature.
misspelled?
I don't know.
I wonder what they misspelled to get station.
When I saw that little bit of trivia, it didn't specify exactly what it was. It just said it was from a misspelling in one copy of the script. So I don't know.
Huh. Weird.
But yeah,
they were weird.
They all get to go back to Earth to build some good robots out of basically hardware store junk.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. They're one of the really good ones.
And I actually really liked those robot designs. Honestly, I think they made them look good. They made it look like it was made out of things, even down to the actors inside the suit had PVC fittings on their fingers.
Yeah, I mean, they make their own Terminator. Is
Yeah.
really what they do, and then they go back to this battle of the bands. Yeah, he was wearing Tron pajamas. And they where they were, like you said earlier, they were supposed to, win this, so that way they can.
They're supposed to win it and give a big speech at the end, and that's kind of what cements them in history. And so the evil robots are going to either just completely throw the show or give a speech that's completely wrong anyway. Why did my lights just flicker?
We're having all kinds of problems here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. But it's evil Beard of Liberty. I've got a robot around here somewhere trying to come get me.
Yeah. All right, so yes, so they bring on these robots. They actually destroy the really advanced robots, because the advanced robots are like, oh, these guys did a great job. We might as well just give up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then they bust their head open, and the crowd thinks this is all a show.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bad guy, what's his name again?
It's Denomalos.
He comes back. I finally got him. Nope. There. Dead. Skeeto. Gone.
Just witnessed a murder, people.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the day that Steve Martin died?
All right, so we so he comes back. He's still trying to sabotage, like you said earlier, and then he basically I think they lock him up in like a little cage, right?
They do a little back and forth with time travel, like thought problems, sort of like all we have to do is remember later on, once we win, to go back in time and leave this here for us. It's a sandbag, and a sandbag falls and like hits his gun out of his hand. He's like, oh, and then we just need to, also go leave a cage, and a cage falls. And he's like, two people can play at that game. I'll just go back and leave this key. And he pulls it out, and then an extra gun, and he's got the upper hand, and they turn it around, go, yes, but we planted all that there because only one of us can go back, either you or us. And so it's a weird way to beat the bad guy. I don't hate it.
It was what,
but it is kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, and they find out that they're still not very good at playing music, and then they go back. They do something. They go back in time or in the future.
They spend 16 months dedicated to getting better, and then they each have a kid with their girlfriend, and they come back looking like they're from ZZ Top.
Yeah, I thought that was you. That was your brother.
Man, I don't know if I'd necessarily really want a beard down to my belly button, but I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, and they come back and they're really good. They're like rocking out, right? And I don't know what's up with
well, the bad guy DeNomos, he like took over all of the cameras and the satellites and is broadcasting around the world. This is what I was saying, is he technically sets up them to be as successful as they are, because now they're not just talking to their local town, they're talking to the entire planet. So they get good, they come back, they give their speech, and people all around the world are seeing it. Down there in the right hand corner is from the Britain, and we see a guy like in Italy, people in China.
Yeah, because the bad guy before that, he says how he's going to take over the world and just like destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, well, no, be kind to everybody or something like that, right? So.
Yeah, be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. That is right. Be excellent to each other. That's what they say. And then they wrap it up. I guess they're great again. They have a kid, which is weird. And then they're married with the princesses, and that's the end.
Yeah. It goes out with a little musical number. We see newspaper clippings of them through the years, and basically how the entire world is changing because of their music.
Yeah.
Even to the point that somebody lets out a rumor that they're breaking up, and so the stock markets across the world crash.
Crazy stuff. Hey, Alistair.
Hey, Emma. Thanks for dropping by.
Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna do in the theaters next. And I'm curious what was in the theaters when this one came out.
Shut your drums and stop kicking us face! We're trying to watch the movie!
All right, so remember when I said Terminator? Because the same weekend this movie came out, Terminator 2 was in the theaters. Wasn't new, but it was on its third weekend. And then you had Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which was number 2. Wow. And 2, which was crazy. And then you had 101 Dalmatians, Boys in the Hood.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Robin Hood, Prince of... We should review that movie. That's a fun one.
We should.
I don't think we have done that one. Then you have Point Break. Point Break was on its second weekend. So Keanu Reeves had Point Break before this one. And then he had, which is a very good movie, which is a lot better than this movie.
It's a lot of fun and parodied well in the in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, but he plays kind of a surfer dude in both these movies. So I'm thinking he was kind of like it rubbed off one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had City Slickers, which I was out for a while. 100 Dalmatians was on like it's I think that was a re-release.
To call attention to Suburban Commando.
No, we don't care about that one. But yes, Suburban Commando. But yeah, if you look at 100 Dalmatians, I think it was a re-release because it was like 1,500 weekends.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boys in the Hood was also on its second week, which was, Ice Cube's first movie. He did
so maybe Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey did have a little bit more life in the theaters than I expected, because I was thinking there was going to be a little bit more than 10 million for that first.
I mean, they had to beat out Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Which I remember when that movie came out, a lot of people were like, "Whoa!" And then you did have Point Break was really good, and then, but I said like Boys in the Hood, and those are two movies that you were kind of fighting against,
right?
So, you had 3 really, but it did really well for the first week.
Yeah.
But maybe R2's right. Maybe it was because of the cartoon.
Yeah, the
number
cartoon
2
was pretty over the top.
Remember to hit the like and share and subscribe if you're new. That'd be fantastic. Naked Gun 2.5. That was a good movie too. That was pretty funny. This was a good weekend. This was
we
July.
say that a lot of times about some of the old movies that we look at, because that was just what it was back in the days. You could roll the dice, and there was probably something worth watching almost every weekend of the year. Might not have been new, but there was almost always something worth watching. You just don't seem to get that as much anymore.
No, it's like movies come out and they're like, we have this week, we have this month, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. Yeah, there you go. There's in the movie theaters now. Let's go ahead and jump into your fun facts too, because you said you had some, right?
I have a few, yes.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
And I guess we're calling this Beard's Trivia.
We are today. All right, I went through a bunch of them. There's a lot out there. Not all of it is super interesting, and I may not choose necessarily the most interesting things, but this what stuck out to me. Yeah, perfect timing on that one.
All right.
When the evil robots drop in front of the Circle K, that's the same Circle K from the first movie. That's why there's a second burn spot there next to them from the phone booth. But that isn't actually a Circle K. It was a 7-Eleven, and they say in Canyon Country. I don't know exactly where that is. And the Circle K logo actually is completely CGI added in with computers. It is probably the best looking CGI in the entire film, because I did not know it was CGI.
In the original movie, the Circle K was a real location, and that was in Phoenix, Arizona. So they probably couldn't go back there. That's probably why they did this.
So when they are making the good robots, they go to a place called Building Emporium, which was a chain kind of hardware store out in California for a while, originated as a mom and pop store. But the mall that has the Building Emporium in it is actually the same mall from Back to the Future, when Doc Brown introduces Marty to time travel.
Oh, the Twin Pines?
Yep.
Cool. I did not know that.
Regarding, I almost said this earlier, but regarding that picture that we saw with the family sitting at the dinner table when towards the end of the movie, that is actually William Sadler, who played Death in this movie as well, is the father. But in the scene is Marnie Joan Bax, I can't really say it, and Sadler Collie Bax, and they are his real life, at least at the time, wife and daughter.
Okay.
But I don't think any of them are actually British, so I don't know. A couple more of them here. The Tillman Water Reclamation Plant in Van Nuys, California is used to represent Bill and Ted University in 2691. And if you're kind of a sci-fi nerd like me, you probably also recognized it as something that would later be used for a future university, specifically Star Trek Starfleet Academy, as seen in the 1992 episode First Duty and the 98 episode In the Flesh.
Okay.
But yes,
they had a Star Trek scene in this movie.
Yes. That is not the only Star Trek reference, because the mountain to which Bill and Ted are brought to be killed by evil robots, you set me up for this, thank you, is the same mountain that Captain Kirk climbs in Arena, a 1967 episode of the original series, which is what Bill and Ted are watching in their apartment just before the evil robots show up and then take them out to the same location and toss them off of the cliff. It's a highly recognizable site that's been used in countless Western films and television shows.
Amazing.
And before I get to my last one, just as a bonus thing, it's not even the only Star Trek connection, because William Sadler, you're happy about that. I appreciate the enthusiasm.
No, it's more bugs.
I'm going to say it's enthusiasm. You can't tell me otherwise. William Sadler, who played Death and that other guy with the family, would go on to play a ton of shows, but specifically this one I'm talking about is Star Trek Deep Space Nine, when he played the character Sloan that worked for Section 31, or maybe didn't work, depending on your theories around that.
Okay.
Just had
You-
to bring out all the weird Star Trek stuff.
That was great.
I kept stumbling across more
There
connections.
was one kid in that crowd though that wasn't happy.
No, that's okay. There's always that one kid.
Always that one kid. Look for that kid next time I play the clip. He's in the corner there. Never happy that anything happens on the show. All right. Okay, so that was good. Was that it? Or do you have more?
I mean, I guess the last one is kind of anticlimactic, much like the finale of this movie. His Stephen Herrick declined to return as the director for the sequel because he thought it was, quote, almost a parody of a movie that was already a parody. So
Pretty
he
much.
wasn't a fan of the script. I saw references to the original script being a little bit more like the first movie where they had an English class and they had to go back and like meet writers that were like writing key pieces of history.
Right.
But they went full cartoon for the second one and he just decided he was done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the first one was good because it was like a good time travel movie.
Yeah.
Then this one was just kind of bonkers or bogus.
Now, Bonkers was a better cartoon than this.
Okay.
Shout
All
out
right.
to anybody who remembers Bonkers.
Before we wrap it up, we're going to do our review on Criticus. And you know what I noticed when I was out here looking for this movie? We did not rate, because I don't think Criticus existed at the time. We did not rate the original one. So we're going to, if we may rate the original one too on this show. Also, you and R2, you did not rate Wolverine Deadpool. You totally forgot about doing it.
I guess so.
So we may do 3.
I think I rated it on my. I think we were going to, but I had rated it on my personal, and I wanted to try to give you an opportunity to weigh in on it.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah,
we'll see. All right, so yeah, hey, what's up, Jacob? All right, so we're gonna put our review in on criticals.com. Again, this is the place where it's criticless, and it's more just fans reviewing movies. Okay, so we're gonna start here. I think this fits. Bogus for this movie. High bogus for me. High bogus.
That's what, a 38%. I don't.
Yes.
It's bogus, but I don't know if it's worse than like a 45%.
Well, then you're into the decent.
Yeah, I mean, it has its moments, but it just hasn't aged well. I think it was much more enjoyed at the time than it has been later on, because it was such a weird kind of niche.
Okay, so we're like right here,
but like with it being West Coast culture kind of thing, that over the topness. Yeah,
so we look at it.
I would be willing to give it a 45. If you want to split the difference because you want to go lower, I'm okay with that as well.
We can do.
But I think it's better than a 40%, because once I start getting below 40%, it's movies that I hate and I don't ever want to watch again.
Okay, so we'll do 45 decent. There really isn't a lot of graphic language. There's
do use a couple of words that are not necessarily acceptable anymore.
True, but
not many.
It's not really violent either. A little bit of stuff.
A very small bit whenever they're at the seance and they say, well, I could totally see down your dude. That's your mom.
Yeah, we'll just go a little bit, and then we've got it's slightly family. I think it's maybe friendly.
I think it's pretty family friendly. I'd split between. I'd get up closer to very than anything else, because it aired almost completely unedited on TV for years.
You're right.
I think the word they drop right before they throw them off the cliff because they say, "We love you guys." I think that's probably the only part that was actually edited out for anything other than time.
Yeah, be excellent to each other. That's what it was, right?
Yes. And you got to say it like this. Okay, put your hand on your chest and put your hand up, or your other hand up. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah. Okay. So each other.
Don't ask me, man. I don't know words. The number of times I have to Google something because my brain.
Okay.
I type like I speak. I don't type like I should.
That's okay. All right, so we're gonna submit the review. There we go. It's a decent. There we go. We'll.
Oh yeah, Station doesn't wear pants. They compliment him on having a bodacious set. butt.
Maybe.
And then Death gets jealous and says, I also have one. I work out all the time.
Yeah. Death. Okay, my final thought on this whole movie is Death was my favorite character. The Reaper.
Yes.
He even does like "You're Gonna Fear the Reaper." Like he sings that song. He's always kind of making little cracking jokes, or he was just my favorite character in the, I would say.
I agree. I think he's probably one of the best parts of the film. And in general, like I said, there's a lot of little things. There's little moments that are very quotable that you remember being fun and liking. It's just that they're always separated by several minutes of, why am I still watching this?
Do you remember when they fell down the hole?
Oh, and they fell just like forever till they got bored.
Yeah, they were playing like 20
playing
questions.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's little things like that. It's like, oh, that's kind of chuckle funny, but then you watch it again and go, oh, that bit went on for a long time.
It did. Now there is a third movie, Bill and Ted, that came out recently.
I've heard good things, but I have not seen it.
Yeah. So there is a third one. Hold on. So maybe we can.
Yeah, Bill and Ted Face the Music. I don't know
yes.
much about it. I know Death comes back because I've seen him in the pictures.
Yeah, I think a lot of people come back actually. So maybe we can review. Oh, look at R2's already complaining about it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, the IMDb ratings of 5.9 out of 10. I don't know. I'd still be willing to watch it. It's got to be better than this one.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll review it, and that way we have all three. Anyways, we thought this would be a fun movie to review. We didn't really have a plan for this Monday, so we were kind of scrolling through some things, and I found
sometimes
this.
You just got to go with what your gut says or what's out there. You know, put too much thought into it. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, so it was a kind of a good brain dump, I guess, if you needed a not so serious movie after the weekend. So
yeah, we definitely needed to get back to the more family friendly stuff after July.
yeah, we had a lot of craziness. But no, normally we stick to the fun family movies. Next Monday, I'm not sure what we'll review either. I don't think I will be on, but Beard will be here, maybe with a guest, and so it's all him. I'll
either figure it out and get a guest, or I'm just going to make you guys sit here all awkward while I stare directly into the camera. And
you know what you should do? You should do a live special event, TV special event, YouTube special event. Ask Beard anything.
Oof. I've thought about doing that on my game streams, and I'm afraid of what people might ask.
You gotta make sure it's family friendly.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes, and then I'm pretty sure we might see you Saturday as well. So I think our Saturday show is coming up, so we'll definitely be here for that. And look for Beard right after this. He's gonna go play some
London.
Fallout London.
I've been playing Fallout, the London Total Conversion mod on my channel. Been having a lot of fun with that. So
guess what's under his beard? The game show.
But yeah, let's see. It's what, if you're watching this live right now, it's about 9:20. So in about an hour, I'll be going live over there. If not, if you watch
do you want to put your link in the chat?
Sure. You'd think I would have that ready because I totally know what I'm doing and don't just like make it up constantly.
Yep. So anyways, while he's doing that, just a quick reminder, if you want to support the channel, you can always where'd it go? You can always leave us a tip down there at the bottom there. streamelements.aftertheweekend/tip. That'd be very helpful. And then also you can help with us if you wanted to show your support around town. You can wear one of our cool t-shirts, and it's mixtees.com after the weekend -logo, and we'll give you 20% off if you use ATW20 when you go to the mixtees.com purchase page. And so if you want to support us there, you can, and that'd be fantastic. And
If you've got any ideas for movies that you want to see us cover, let us know.
Yeah, let us know there too.
We typically stay 80s, 90s, kind of like our childhood and such like that. But obviously, you've seen us dip outside of that with Lord of the Rings and some of the Marvel stuff.
Right. And
so if you have an idea, let us know.
Yeah, you can leave it in the comments, or you can find us on Twitter or X. Sorry, at ATW Review. Now, here's your link for the game. So everybody go hang out with Beard. I haven't figured out that cool thing where you can when this live stream ends, send it to you. Raid.
I mean,
but
if not that link, I don't know why some of the stuff comes through as weird. It's just you can find me at Beard of Liberty on YouTube. I'd at Beard of Liberty pretty much everywhere. But yeah, I'm having fun with it right now. If the community grows and people want to see more, and I find something else that kind of catches on later on, maybe I'll stick with it. But for now, I'm not stressing. I'm having fun, hanging out with friends that want to show up in the chat.
Yeah, we both have game channels over there at Caps Arcade, and yeah, and I'm over there at Caps Arcade. So maybe one day me and you can team up on something.
We'll have to find something. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun actually. All right, so what time are you doing it again? 9.
10:30 Central. I wasn't sure exactly how long we were going to go, so I wanted to give myself plenty of extra time just in case.
Okay. Well, everyone, go over there if you want to check them out and show your support. Behind the Beard, Jacob says.
Ooh. Except, I don't want to spoil it. There's not much behind the Beard that's interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
I prefer to have my lore and my legend out there that people make up for me. It's far more interesting than I am as a person.
I enjoy watching you when I can. Sometimes you're live when I'm live.
Yeah, I swear I was subscribed, but then I wasn't, so I subscribed again, and I have not seen a single notification pop up about any of your streams since I've done that. But YouTube, since I've started streaming, is recommending all sorts of random live streamers on their platform that have nothing to do with any of my interests. I get those recommended, but not my friends.
No, they don't like me.
Beards.
Beards.
That's what's behind his beard.
Okay. That's actually pretty funny. All right, everyone.
Roman is pushing to have me show up on a stream live or shirtless. That's his goal whenever.
Oh yeah, Roman's birthday is this Thursday at
so I'll be over there.
Over at Roman's Empire. That's right. I'll probably be over there too for a little bit.
Friend of the show.
Alrighty, everyone, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, joining us during this bogus journey. And again, we'll see you next Monday. And again, if you would like us to review anything like Beer said, let us know. All right, everyone, you have an excellent week. And again, be excellent to each other. You have a good one. Later.
Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the palace, backflip gainer into the trash.
This is it. Big just